Hey folks, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the QCY B900. This is an ultra slim all aluminum stereo Bluetooth speaker that retails for less than $30 on QCY's website and on AliExpress. So let's take a quick look at what you get as part of the packaging. So again, the box here is very wide and narrow. We have some branding including the speaker's name and specifications on the sides. It has two 3-watt drivers, weighs in at 310 grams, so relatively light for an all-aluminum speaker. Playtime is rated at up to 4 hours. That is a little low since the speaker is so thin. You don't get as much continuous audio playback as heftier speakers that may stretch 8 hours. Dimensions are labeled here, and it has a 2000 milliamp hour capacity battery that can be fully charged in under 2 hours. And it can be used while it's being charged as well, which is pretty nice to know. Inside here, we have access to the speaker. There's actually first a thank you in an inside box, and finally there is the speaker down below. Instruction manual printed in black and white tells you how to pair it with your phone and access the various controls. Setting the speaker off to the side and taking a closer look at it in a second, additional contents include just a micro USB cable for charging, and that's it. There is no additional auxiliary cable that you get as part of the package. However, you can use your own and connect it using a traditional 3.5mm plug into your smartphone if you don't want to use wireless Bluetooth. So taking a look at the build of the QCY B900, it's a very premium feeling speaker. We have these chamfered edges on the sides, which are etched in chrome. The speaker grills on the surface here are made out of plastic, and the frame here again is made out of aluminum with the company's logo embedded onto the very top. There's also access to a power on-off key, which you can tap and hold for about 4 seconds to start the pairing mode. When you've entered the pairing mode, the LEDs will start to flash red and blue, and then you can easily connect it using your phone. The bottom also features rubber feet, and that prevents this from sliding around or falling out on a surface or a desk. Alternatively, I can place the surface completely down like this, and that's a bit more stable. Maybe if I'm in a car or somewhere that's a little shaky. It's also coated in a layer of soft touch rubber. We can see some basic info. Free music seems to be the slogan of this speaker. Additional specifications repeated on here. Micro USB for power, auxiliary input, and that's essentially it. Alright, so we're paired to our phone already. You can see the LED lights underneath the button will start to glow, which creates a pretty cool minimalistic effect. Something I want to point out before we do a music test, though, is there are no other controls for changing the volume or shortcut keys that you get since the speaker is so small and they went for such a clean design. Also, you can tell here, because the flaps aren't covered up, this is not a rugged speaker, so make sure you don't dump this into water and you should be fine. So let's play the audio sample next. Alright, so pausing the music and kind of discussing the audio quality there. First things first, it does sound very clean and it's relatively crisp as well for a low-cost Bluetooth speaker. And as a whole, for something so small, especially if we compare it with another relatively compact Bluetooth speaker, this is by Cohen, you can really just tell how slim this thing is. And because it is getting smaller and smaller, it's tougher and tougher for the manufacturer to fit in larger drivers and the parts required to produce tons of sound. But as a whole, the volume is definitely adequate, and it fills up small spaces and rooms without any problems at all. And it's certainly miles ahead of any built-in speakers on a phone or tablet that you'll find. If you're listening to the mids and highs, I would say that overall it sounds the best. If you notice there, bass is a little lacking. There definitely is some bass, but as I kind of expected, there isn't as much space to put in a passive radiator, even though there is one. If you look very closely between the two stereo drivers, you can kind of tell one in this oval shape. That adds some thump into the lower drum beats if you are listening to EDM, and also maybe if you're listening to cello or bass and classical music. So even though it is present, it's not overly heavy, and so if you are a bass head, you might not be satisfied. However, that's kind of to be expected on such a slim speaker. In fact, this might be one of the slimmest stereo speakers I've seen. So you are paying and kind of doing a bit of a sacrifice for the looks in this case. Regardless, the sound quality is excellent, and the B900s do have a built-in microphone as well, so you can use this to answer phone calls. In my quick testing, the microphone sounded clean and natural when I placed a phone call with a friend, and the connection range between the phone is roughly 10 meters or 33 feet, so I had no real problems using it as kind of a conference speaker. I would say that this is best used indoors because it isn't noise canceling as far as the mic is concerned, so if you're in noisy environments, it doesn't do quite as well in terms of drowning out other voices, but for indoor uses, it works great. At the end of the day, I think the QCY B900 wireless stereo speaker is certainly better than I expected just looking at its size and petite form factor. This is definitely one of the most elegant and beautifully constructed Bluetooth speakers I've seen for under $30, and it packs a surprisingly hefty amount of volume into such a thin portfolio. Its downsides may include the lack of physical hardware volume controls, in addition to not being the most bass-heavy speaker in the world. However, for general casual music listening, it suffices. There is very little distortion or static in the background, even if you listen super closely, and again, it packs a surprisingly loud amount of volume into a thin frame. It's well built, it looks clean, and makes for a great gift as well as a travel speaker when on the go to supplement your music listening and also for movie watching. So you can check out more details about this ultra slim speaker in our official written review, but it's certainly an interesting alternative if you are looking for something super portable to take with you when on the go. So this has been our review of the QCY B900 stereo speaker. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.